Hello everyone, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. Here's to 2020. So I want to start the year off and I want to show you the records that I have in the T's. Now I'm choosing T because 2020 starts with a T. Get it? I don't know, I'm trying to be cute here. It's hard for me. So I don't have as many records as other people in the VC. I have about 250 albums. Like I've said in other videos, I have a crap load of CDs. I've got like over 3,000 CDs, but my record collection is slowly growing. I'm around 250 albums. So today I want to concentrate on the records in the T's. So let's start us off here. The first band is Tankard, and I've got two of their albums. This is Chemical Invasion, and they are a German thrash band. Came up with Creator and Sodom. Very cool stuff. And then I also have their album, Zombie Attack. And these were cool. I believe these were on like a colored vinyl. Yep. This had like a splatter vinyl. Very cool. I'll have to spin these guys again. I love that early thrash music. I'm a huge Creator fan. And Tankard is sort of like, kind of like a comedic version of Creator. With, just sort of some comedic topics. Like one of their songs is called Alcohol. Then they have a song called Zombie Attack. So, kind of a different take on the thrash genre. So that's Tankard. What else we got here? Okay, this is a band that you might not have heard of before. They're on the SST label. They're called the Tar Babies. Got a few of their albums. This happens to be an album called No Contest. How would I describe the Tar Babies? Well, they're SST's version of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This album came out in 1988. If you're into the Red Hot Chili Peppers, if you're into punk, you'd probably dig these guys. Don't be turned off by the name. This is actually probably my favorite album by them, No Contest. I also have the album Fried Milk. It's the back cover. So again, these guys are kind of lumped into the punk genre, but I would say more of like funk. Like I said, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They actually started off as a pretty hardcore punk band. I've got a CD of their early material. And then they sort of morphed into this funk version. So definitely check them out. I'm new to them this past year. What else I have here? Yes. Television. Adventure, their second album following Marquee Moon. I was new to Television. I had always heard of them, and I know that their albums always make, like the top, 500 lists of all time. There's usually always a Television album on there, usually Marquee Moon. So about a year ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check these guys out. And I loved Marquee Moon. I thought it was great. Again, I was really late to the party. And then I ended up buying Adventure. And I actually like this a little bit more than the first album. I love the song Glory, Foxhole, Carried Away, The Dream's Dream. This is just a great album. I believe that this is on colored wax. Let me see here. Yes, it is. It's on red vinyl. Very cool album. I've got Marquee Moon on CD. I find like I just listen to this album more. So let me know what you guys think. If you're into television, or which album do you like better by them, or do you like both the same? Like I said, I think I prefer Adventure over Marquee Moon. That's just me. This next album I got on Record Store Day this past 2019. It's They Might Be Giants, the single for Don't Let's Start, and it also has We're the Replacements, When It Rains, It Snows, and the famous Polka. I have not even opened this up yet. Still got the hype sticker on it, still sealed. It's numbered 523 out of 1,000. So, yeah, I don't know why I haven't opened it yet. I just feel like it's one of those special albums that maybe one of these days I'll have to, you know, pour a nice big old cup of coffee and just crack this baby open and listen to it. I love They Might Be Giants. I remember growing up listening to them. I remember the album Flood. That was so awesome. I remember their early song, Anna Ing. That was such a great song. I love their first album, too, just simply called They Might Be Giants. They were just a quirky, smart band, and they're still making music today. I remember also they used to have a phone number you could call and hear, you know, like little snippets of new songs and sort of quirky comedy type things. And I don't know if that number is still working. Oh, here we go. On here it says They Might Be Giants, dial a song, 844-387-6962. So, oh, I don't know, call it. See what happens. It's probably like the number of a GameStop now, or a Mexican restaurant. All right, moving on with the teas. Threepenny Opera, the soundtrack to this cast recording. Here's the back cover. Now, the reason I bought this album is for the song Mac the Knife. Everybody's done a cover of Mac the Knife. I love Frank Sinatra's version of Mac the Knife. I actually do, I sing with a big band. We do a summer show every July, and you know, it's all that big band Frank Sinatra type stuff. And I got a chance to sing the song Mac the Knife, and I remember never really liking the song Mac the Knife, but then once I sang it with a big band, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's a great version on Threepenny Opera. And actually, this whole record is really cool. It's a very dark musical. And if you're into musicals like Sweeney Todd, Sondheim's Sweeney Todd, you might dig this. So this is Threepenny Opera on, let's see, Columbia Masterworks. This is what the label looks like. Very cool record. Like I said, I bought it for Mac the Knife, but I ended up liking a lot of the songs on there. Next, this is an SST band called Tom Tricali's Dog. Very cool. I believe that Tom Tricali was a roadie for Black Flag, and you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but this was his band's album. It was produced by Greg Ginn. Greg Ginn, of course, is the person who started SST Records. They do a whole bunch of different stuff on here. It's sort of like folk rock meets punk. They do a version of the Bob Dylan song Girl from the North Country. I had first heard that song when he did it with Johnny Cash. But it's a cool album. Sort of rare. If you're into folk music and punk music, just sort of avant-garde type stuff, you might be into Tom Tricali's Dog. Check it out. I showed these two albums the other day when I talked about some of my hard rock and heavy metal releases. So I picked up Twisted Sisters, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, promo of that, and Twisted Sisters, Under the Blade. Two really cool albums. I told everybody the other day when I did that video that my brother always had the Twisted Sister albums growing up, and I remember, him really being into Twisted Sister. I always loved Twisted Sister. I just never had any of their records, so this is actually the first time, and it took me till I was 45 years old to get my first 2 Twisted Sister records. I had all their stuff on CD. I just never took the plunge and got anything on vinyl, but these 2 albums are great. Just awesome 80s hard rock heavy metal. Tygers of Pan Tang. This is a new wave of British heavy metal band. This is an album called The Cage. And this was more of like a polished sound for them. I love Tygers of Pan Tang. But this is when they got a little bit more polished with their sound. This was 1982. What I thought was cool about this record, well, first of all, it was in great condition. But what I thought was really cool about it, where is it? Is it still in there? Well, it's on MCA. Oh, actually, I thought there was an order form with this. That must have been another album I had by them. Or is it in here? Oh, yeah, here it is. Tygers of Pan Tang. Official order form. You can order t-shirts, scarves, key rings. And then this is a list of their British tour from 1982. So I thought that was pretty cool. It has a lyric sheet. Pictures of the band. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like, again, I said, I love the new wave of British heavy metal. I love Praying Mantis, Saxon, Maiden, of course, Tygers of Pan Tang. That's just a great album. Some jazz stuff. I love McCoy Tyner, the jazz pianist. And I have an album by him called Tender Moments on Blue Note. I have Samalayuka. This is on the Milestone label. This is where I first heard about McCoy Tyner. And I think I did, yes I did. I did a video on the band Always August. They do a version of Samalayuka, and that's the first time I had ever heard it. So I researched it and found out it was McCoy Tyner. And I was like, all right, got to get his stuff. So this is a great album. If you are into, 70s jazz with a little bit of fusion mixed in, you definitely should check out McCoy Tyner. And this is another great album by him, Fly with the Wind. Very cool stuff. This came out in 1976. Love this album. And then I also have an album called Looking Out. Excuse me. Which isn't as strong as the other ones. This came out in 1982. But what's cool about this album is that Santana plays on this album. Stanley Clarke plays on this album. There's some vocals as well on here by Phyllis Hyman. Great vocalist. I'm not too into vocal jazz, though. I prefer instrumental jazz, but still, this is a great album. So if you're into McCoy Tyner, if you like Santana, Stanley Clarke, or I had never heard of her before, but if you are into Phyllis Hyman, check this album out. It's called Looking Out, 1982. So that's my albums and the teas. So I wish everybody a happy 2020. And like I said, I'm coming at you with more videos soon. I believe that tomorrow the album is coming that I want to unbox for you, and this will be a special event. I'm excited about this one, so stay tuned. I think that's going to be tomorrow. But I hope everybody enjoys their New Year's Day. I'm going back to work tomorrow, and I wish you guys all the best. Thank you.